Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Welcome to the channel Think Again. Set apart people, always desiring truth. Blessing shalom from the God of peace. I was watching this video about Richard Dawkins, an old video and a newer video, and it amazes me at how foolish these men are. These men claim to be scientists, but they are morons, fools, idiots. The Bible clearly says, the fool says in his heart that there is no God. And in their own words, these so-called brilliant men that the world esteems to be on a high level contradict their own selves in their words. I have these video clips, but please, when you watch them, listen carefully to the numbers and the words that they speak about how much they actually know. You find that these men don't know much because they've denied the Lord. And because you denied the Lord will send you strong delusion that you will believe a lie. So Richard Dawkins is asked a question. The interviewer asked Richard Dawkins to give an example of a genetic mutation or an evolutionary process that was observed. The man thinks for a long period of time. I can only but laugh.
Can you give an example of a genetic mutation or an evolutionary process which can be seen to increase the information in the genome?
Can you just stop one? I think.
I'm recording.
Okay. There's a popular misunderstanding of evolution which says that fish turned into reptiles and reptiles turned into mammals, and so somehow we ought to be able to look around the world today and look at our ancestors. We ought to be able to see the intermediates between fish and reptiles, or between reptiles and mammals. We ought to be able to see fish kind of on the way to becoming reptiles. But of course that's not the way it is at all. Fish are modern animals. They're just as modern as we are. They're descended from ancestors, which we're descended from. Way back 300 million years ago, there would have been an ancestor, which was the ancestor of modern fish and the ancestor of modern humans. And that ancestor, if you could have been there then, you could have seen the first steps towards a fish, say, coming out onto the land and becoming something like an amphibian. But that was a long time ago. You wouldn't expect to see that today. And so quite a lot of the misunderstanding of evolution, I suppose, stems from the fact that people are looking at modern animals and thinking that Darwin has said we're descended from them. Well, we're not. We're not descended from modern fish. We're not descended from modern monkeys. We're not descended from modern apes. They are modern animals just as we are. They are our cousins. They're not our ancestors.
He gives us the date of evolutionary processes, and he says 300 million years ago. Listen to this carefully. 300 million years ago. In a later video, he now changes that 300 million years ago to 4 billion years.
He's one of the most controversial thinkers on the planet. Biologist, controversialist, world-famous atheist. Richard Dawkins inspired millions by popularizing evolutionary biology, but his work on religion and morality has become a lightning rod for controversy.
I despise people who believe something without evidence and then go out and take action which damages other people.
His 2006 blockbuster, The God Delusion, made him the global face of atheism.
What's wrong with, in your opinion, with believing in a God, regardless of who the God is?
I think it's false. I think that it's a matter of belief without evidence.
While his combative style has created fervent admirers and ferocious enemies. To his fans, he's the whip-smart scientist who's waging war for facts over feelings.
Science is interesting, and if you don't agree, you can
To his critics, he's incendiary, out of touch, and deliberately offensive. I want to start with some big theme stuff. And I guess there's no bigger theme than evolution itself. And I think I'd ask a question like this. What do we know now about where we've come from? And what don't we know?
Okay, we know once you've got a self-replicating entity, which nowadays is DNA, but it wasn't originally, once you've got life started, once natural selection, Darwinian natural selection has got going, then we pretty much understand the 4 billion year history of what's given rise to us and all other living creatures. We don't know how it started, and that's still a mystery, and it may always be a mystery because it happened a very long time ago. We don't know how it started, and that's still a mystery. Then we pretty much understand the 4 billion year history.
They're descended from ancestors, which we're descended from, way back 300 million years ago. They're descended from ancestors, which we're descended from, way back 300 million years ago.
Then we pretty much understand the 4 billion year history. Then we pretty much understand the 4 billion year history. We don't know how it started. We don't know how it started. Then we pretty much understand.
Right. Darwin's theory of evolution is based on natural selection, which describes how populations evolve and adapt to suit their environment. The theory comprises of 4 principles that lead to evolution: inheritance, natural selection, variation, and time. However, the theory had major errors and mistakes. Others believe that the world is indeed young, while evolution theory needs an old earth to make its theory fit true. To say that over a long period of time, these things could have happened. But if you're looking at a short period of time, things can also happen quite quickly in a short period of time. In the next video, I'll show you how change happens in a short period of time. Darwin made many assumptions, and his assumptions were wrong. You see, when a man rejects God, he automatically thinks that his intelligence will be a way to figure it out. We can clearly see Richard Dawkins has no clue what he's talking about. He goes from 300 million years to 4 billion years. He says we don't know, he says we do know. This man is an idiot. The Bible says that the fool has said in his own heart that there's no God. So when a man believes that there's no God, I regard that man as a fool, because you see, there's many things we cannot answer, but by faith we know that our God created all things. We just have to look up into the sky and look around us and say there is a God, because everything that he made, no man can replicate it. Until modern day science, now they're starting to learn of it and starting to replicate slowly. So now some people will assert that there was some ancient man far long ago who had this technology and he could make all these people and stuff. This is what the world wants us to believe, that there was some brilliant mastermind on earth that created us all. Some people are really foolish. It says God of the heavens and earth, in just 6 days, he created all that's in it and rested the 7th day. Shabbat Shalom.